Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag Side Quest episode of news and updates. I already threw myself off the train already.
This is the second time you've done this like the last month.
Anyway, I'm your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. With me are moderate gamer Keith.
Hello.
And our new stand-in noob gamer, Aaron.
Hey.
This week we wanted to bring you guys some news because what's been happening around here. There's been some ridiculously large games that have come out too on Game Pass and that are not on Game Pass. Yeah, we just wanted to give some updates, some news, some games that are coming to Game Pass and whatnot. We can already tell I've already done a great job with these show notes. But before we get into everything, thank you all for joining us. Make sure you go to GamePassGrabBag.com, check out our website, check out all our past reviews. Top right corner, you can find the link to our YouTube and all of our other stuff. Come join our Discord and say hi. We always love talking to you all. But before we start into this, as I said, there's been some huge games that have come out in Game Pass this month, and not on Game Pass. Two of the biggest ones so far: Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, just recently Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has just hit Game Pass, and then as of this recording. Nope, it's already out just actually, I think, yesterday. But Cyberpunk 2077 also just hit Game Pass as well. So there's been a lot we've been playing. But as far as big games that aren't on Game Pass, Pokemon Pokepia, I just recently bought that. Once I saw that was from the developers of Dragon Quest Builders 2, I was like, I gotta buy this game.
Is it good?
If you have not checked out Dragon Quest Builders 2, we did a review of it. It was on Game Pass for a while. That game was awesome. And
yeah, but
so,
does it play like it?
It plays just like with the building. So if you remember Dragon Quest Builders, Keith, Dragon Quest Builders had a bit more blueprints where it's like, oh, you got to put 12 wood blocks in this, and like a bathroom has to be this. It doesn't have that. It's much more open as to what you're doing. But besides that, plays and looks just like Dragon Quest Builders, just minus the combat.
Which it's kind of weird. I mean, like, Pokemon it's about battling. There should be some, although isn't it like the distant future and humans have gone extinct or something? And
but don't be spoiling things, Keith.
That's literally what I saw on Twitter.
It is a mystery. It is what is going on. This island is decrepit. Pokemon don't know how they got there, and they don't know where the humans are.
Oh shoot! It's a mystery.
So it's not purgatory, is what you're saying.
Well, we don't know that yet.
I haven't got that far yet. But I'm just saying, don't be saying things, Keith.
That's what I read online. I didn't know it was a secret. Blame the internet.
Andrew, have you played
Cyberpunk 2? Yes. Cyberpunk? Yeah. Yes. I bought Cyberpunk when it first came out. And I loved it. Well, ish. It was super, obviously, rough when it first came out. But I've never fully sat down and invested a ton of time in. I think I have about 12 hours in it. But it's like 12 hours of like an hour here, and a month later that I put in another hour. Yeah. And like another month later, I put in another hour. Like, it's been very slow.
I never played it because of that, because the game was busted when it launched. If I remember correctly, it came out right before the Series X came out, right?
Yep. And so it was super bad on the last consoles.
Yeah.
But on the Series consoles, it worked great. And so I knew I was getting a Series console, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to buy it because I'm getting it.
That's right. I remember they made like a Series X version of it. Remember when that was like a thing?
Yep.
When they were like the two versions? I've never played it, but here's the thing that's killing me on journalistic integrity. I should look this up. I didn't see it on Game Pass on PC. So is this on Game Pass console only? I don't recall the last time a game has done that. That's been available for both. It's on PC and console, but it would only launch on Game Pass console.
That does seem odd.
Can you think of a game that's done that?
I mean, I don't. Again, I don't want to look it up because I just want you to say it.
Unless there wasn't
actually be on PC.
Unless there wasn't a PC version of it. Well, I literally just pulled up my Xbox app right now because when Andrew said it was available, I was like, "That's right, I did see it was available yesterday," but I didn't notice it on the Game Pass app when I opened it today. Well, and I still don't see it.
According to Google, Cyberpunk 2077 is available on Game Pass Ultimate and Premium, but not directly via PC Game Pass. It is playable on PC only through cloud streaming with a supported controller.
And why?
That is a good question.
That's
Weird.
I just can't recall another game doing that. Now there are games that were on console that didn't have a PC port to them. Case in point, just I know like I would know this, but no one else maybe knows this. But college football does not have a PC version of that game. It's console only.
That's weird.
So, I know. The rumor is next year will be the first college football game that will actually have a PC version.
But then again, college football like just started up again
2 years ago. But
Does it really matter though? Like, does it play poorly?
kind of. So they're very, very popular for customizing like your own school and customizing your stadium. So literally today, you can go on PC, build your college, build your stadium, build everything, but you can only play it on your console. So it has all the PC features to do all that stuff, but you can't actually play it there. You have to play it on console. So this will be the first time where that sounds like it could be fully integrated. So just kind of an interesting factoid. But I just thought it was weird that I couldn't play Cyberpunk because I was looking forward to playing it, but I'm generally on my PC a little bit more than I'm on my console.
It's super good now. Cyberpunk.
I believe it.
The updates they put in it, so good.
Well, they've added a lot of content too. It's not just like
free content.
fixes, right?
Yeah.
They had a lot of bad will coming out with the game in the state that it was in, but you do have to give it to CD Projekt Red. They were never going to give up on it. They were going to keep working on it, even if it wasn't financially like worth it for them. They've only released one expansion that costs money.
Yep.
Which everyone said was
rated
great.
very well though.
Yeah. Because I think didn't The Witcher 3 have like 3 expansions?
Yes.
So it had a little bit more kind of long-term support there. But yeah, I really want to try that. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I could delve into Kingdom Come.
It's so good. I think you will like it because you talked about how you love an RPG where what you're doing is upgrading things, and that is what Kingdom Come is. The story. So I will say I don't think you need to play Kingdom Come once. It does help you with the story, but 2 does a good job of just going along and kind of explaining things. But it's a ton of fun.
I feel like I would be bogged down in it too much. Like I'd find it too slow.
No, you just end up finding where you like run a sawmill and you just chop wood all day.
If there's a mini game,
chopping wood, no. Blacksmithing, yes. Alchemy, yes.
Can I get ridiculously rich doing it?
Yes. So like that's what I love. It's very simulator. So the potion brewing, you literally are like, I gotta grab this herb, gotta grind this herb, I gotta boil it for 2 turns. You have to put a timer, 2 turns. You gotta do the bellow with it.
That's a
now
little
you gotta
annoying.
add the mushrooms in it, and you gotta keep doing like.
What can I
step by
buy
step.
with my money? Can I buy an entire kingdom?
In the first one of the DLCs, you literally have to rebuild a village. And so you invest your own money into it.
Okay.
And the second one here, they did just recently come out with a DLC where you actually own and run your own blacksmith. So yes, you can kind of do that. Because you can also blacksmith. You have to hammer it properly. You have to make sure the temperatures are right. You got to make sure you're doing the pacing right. If not, the sword will become wonky. It's like I said, it's
just
very
want to know if I
simulator.
could become the Elon Musk of knights and just be
Yes, you drive a
ridiculously
Tesla.
rich and be obnoxious.
A Tesla
about my
horse.
life. Yeah. Ooh, an electric horse. All right. Well, there you go. Something to look forward to, I guess. I'm afraid that game looks. You know when a game kind of has that fine line of like, it becomes less of a game and that simulator part is just less fun. I've always gotten the vibe that Kingdom Come Deliverance would like. In the way you're describing the alchemy thing doesn't necessarily sound fun.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
don't
The
like
more
when
you
there's
do it,
multiple
You get
steps.
skills. You get skills too that also streamline it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. So it's great in the first one. You're a straight up peasant, so you don't know how to read. So like you can't read alchemy books and learn the recipes. Eventually, you have to go and find somebody to teach you how to read. Like you don't know how to do anything. You don't know how to swing a sword. You don't know how to ride a horse.
What if
but
I
obviously
don't
the
know how to
second
read
one,
now?
like they take away some things, but you know how to read. But you gotta like still kind of figure out things. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
But I
might
did want to
try.
ask you guys though, what have you guys been playing?
So, well, I mean, we were talking a little bit about it last week. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of Dice A Million. that game is still got me. But you had brought it up, at least that you brought up in our Discord, that IGN claimed that they would have given Mini Shoot Adventures a 10 of 10. I was like, there's no way that it's that good. And it's not. It's not a 10 of 10. But that's what I've been playing, and it's a lot of fun. Like I've been more than surprised at how much I actually enjoy it. It's kind of like a Zelda top-down twin stick shooter. And it has like almost like Tunic feels to it, because there's no real dialogue there. Everything's kind of a mystery, but it's a lot of fun. It's just this fun little world to explore, and just this little ship that flies around and shoots things. So
Yeah, I've been running through my ARPG list. So I was running a lot of Endgame on D4. I then circled back.
That's Diablo 4 for the people who don't know.
Well, come on. If you don't know what that is, then get out of here. I then circled back to what's that game? It's the second one.
Diablo 2?
No. Well, I did circle back to Diablo 2.
I've been playing a bunch of Diablo 2.
I got the expansion, the Warlock.
How is it?
You know, I will say this. There is something like really pure about Diablo 2.
Yeah.
That's
what I've been
lost
thinking too.
in modern ARPGs. And it's not necessarily like, it's not a knock on modern ARPGs, because I think evolution has to happen. I genuinely think you can't release Diablo 2 again and people would be satisfied with that.
They did with Resurrection.
No, but I think it works for a certain audience. Like, I think there's a certain audience that will be happy to go back to D2. But what can be overwhelming about playing a game like, Path of Exile 2? That's the other one I've been playing. One of the things that can be somewhat like jarring about them is there's too many things to focus on, and you can fine tune every little detail about your build. In D2, it's not really like that. It's very pure. It's very straightforward on kind of how you progress and build your character. I kind of miss that.
It's slow.
Oh, super slow.
Yeah.
But
I forgot there's stamina of you running.
Oh, the stamina sucks so bad. Early on, I remember stamina always sucking pretty early on, but then it's not so bad later on. It's like non-issue later. But yeah, I don't know. It does feel there's something comfortable about coming back to it, because I know all three of us played a ludicrous amount of Diablo 2. So yeah, going back to it, just
grinding SOJs.
Yeah,
is that still a thing at all? Like,
yeah, so it's got totally new endgame stuff. Yeah, it's got brand new endgame stuff in there.
Okay.
Although it again raises just modern video gaming just sometimes does things that I'm just like, why? Diablo 2, I purchased it. I purchased it on PC. I purchased it directly from Blizzard, because that's how you purchase it, through the Xbox app.
You went to their office and you said, "Here's my card."
Here's my issue.
Give him a check.
I purchased it through the Xbox app, sends me to Blizzard to make that purchase. I make that purchase. Can I then play the Warlock stuff on my Xbox console? No. Xbox owns Blizzard. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to purchase it on the Xbox app and it be available there. Issue number one. Issue number two, it's not cross-platform. How is it not cross-platform? Like, that, I just don't understand modern gaming. Sometimes why is it so much more complicated than I just ever remember it being? But I've been having a lot of fun with the ARPGs, just kind of cycling through them. I kind of want to go back and check out Last Epoch again. That was another great one. And those updates have been good. So I've been just kind of cycling through those.
So since you bought the DLC, I was curious, is it worth it? Because it's like $30, and as far as I could saw, it's only unlocking the Warlock. And I'm like, I can't justify spending $30 to get a class.
So it has brand new loot filters, and I think you don't get all. I think all the new end game content is all in the DLC. So remember your normal grinds, like we were normally just kind of grinding like the cow level,
Bale,
yeah. And you're doing stuff like that. There's a little bit more to it now. They've added newer kind of things to grind through. I don't know. If you want to try, the Warlock is a lot of fun. Like, he's kind of a mix between like a sorceress and a necromancer. And I don't know, he's super overpowered, but to me, it's like, oh, that's perfect. You should release a $30 DLC and make sure that character's really overpowered. So
Of course,
I don't know.
this make people want to buy it.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's an audience out there that they appreciate kind of the pureness of Diablo 2 and want to go back to it. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I mean, I'm the same with you. I've actually been playing a bunch of Diablo 2 as well. And it's kind of funny of like, what's with the old games making a resurgence? Because, yeah, Diablo 2 just got this DLC, which everyone's like, a 20-year-old game, you guys are adding like DLC? Like, okay. But not only that, the Division 2.
Yeah.
I remember we all bought that. We played it a bunch. Like, it's been like 10 years or so? And it's
Love
like, oh, yeah,
that
new
game.
DLC.
You guys all gave up on that game pretty quickly, and I stuck with it. Like,
I wouldn't say pretty quickly. I mean, it was a
I
good
got to
6-8
endgame.
months. Like, yeah, we were doing a lot of endgame stuff. It was once we started doing like the raid stuff, like the PvP raids. I will say, I mean, we kind of phased out of it there, but yeah, I did love that game.
Yeah, because we quit when the raid came out, and it's like you needed what? It was like 8 people or 6 people, and we're like, well, we don't know 6 people.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
we're
the
not gonna
first
get that.
DLC. The first DLC that came out. That one they've taken care of that game though. They've been
No, for sure.
They've been steadily taking care of that game, and
It's just weird. Do people play it?
I remember, Andrew, it's actually not Division 2 that's getting this update. I think it's Division 1. I think if I saw it
Division 2.
correctly, Division 1 is getting a brand new like extraction survival mode in the snow. So
Division 2 is launching the Battle for Brooklyn DLC on May 27th, 2025. Oh, no, so that was last year. Oh, you might be right then.
I think it's Division 1, even older.
Wait, really? I could have swore because
The only reason why, and I know it looked like it was in New York and it was in the snow, which was very much
it's Central Park, right?
which was the New York setting, not the DC setting. Now they did have DLC that came out for Division 2 that sent you back to New York.
Yeah, a major separate DLC focusing on Central Park is scheduled for 2026 in Division 2.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
is Division 2.
So that's what was throwing me off though, is I was seeing it was in New York. And so I was
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
oh, it's in New York. It's back to Division 1. But all right, so they're just putting it back there.
Because they did another one of I thought it was like the Warlords of New York was
New York,
another one
yep.
of the DLCs they did.
Yep.
So to answer your question, Andrew, because this is what matters, the Steam charts have a 24-hour peak of 21,000, actually closer to 22,000 for Division 2, which, jokes aside, that's actually a pretty decent number.
Yeah.
That is.
You know what's kind of funny about this to me? We've kind of talked about this in the past a little bit. For all of the knocks on Ubisoft, and there are a lot of knocks you can have on Ubisoft, they weirdly take care of their games long term.
Except for their well,
that's the thing, is they've randomly killed some games very quickly.
X-Defiant. There it is.
Yeah, X-Defiant's like another great example, but do you remember how bad a shape Rainbow Six was when it launched? Rainbow Six Siege?
Yeah.
It was in super bad shape. And I'm sure its audience probably dropped off pretty quickly at the beginning. Do you remember, what was it, For Honor?
Yep. That's still going.
And they took care of that game. Like, they kept taking care of that game, even though it was very limited to begin with. And everyone was like, who is this for? And they took care of it. It's the same thing with The Division. So you can kind of knock on Ubisoft, but they're kind of good to like, no, we believe this is something. And they continue to take care of it and foster it. I wish more companies would kind of understand that and not cut bait so quickly.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I was going to segue to that, Keith.
to what?
Beat you to it.
I was going to say, speaking about games of dropping off audience, I've also been playing a lot of High Guard. I'm like the one of 300 people that are still playing that game.
Here's my thing about High Guard. I loved High Guard. High Guard, though, you have to get through like the first 5 matches. Get through the first 5 matches, and the
Not
game
anymore. It's going to be
starts.
ending tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Well, you can't now, but
But
it makes sense.
Gigantic went away and made a resurgence. Do you think Highguard could make a resurgence?
I mean, maybe, but unlikely. Unlikely. Somebody has to be out there that like sees that this is worth something and is willing to spend some money on it. I do think the difference between, all right, so just using Ubisoft. Ubisoft is obviously a major company that can afford to fund something long term.
Not anymore. They aren't.
No.
Their
But
stock's
they
worth like
did.
10 cents.
But now it seems like Highguard was funded by Tencent.
Yep.
And after 2 weeks after launch, they said, yeah, we're not paying anymore. And at that point, they're kind of screwed. Because unless you're selling a lot in your shop, you've now got a lot of expenses you're now stuck having to pay for. So not much you can do there.
I mean, I honestly am fully with people. I think Highguard deserved to die. Like, I when I first played it, I was much like a lot of people where I'm like, playing this game, this feels like this could be my favorite game. To me, I wish they leaned more into the MOBA, because I thought it was weird when they're like, oh, it's the people from Apex and Titanfall. One of the great things about Titanfall is you could suck, but there's NPCs, and so you're still kind of contributing to the team by just doing things, like the attrition game mode. Just shoot the NPCs, you're at least helping your team a little bit. That's what I wanted from Highguard. It's like, why isn't there, like, there's clearly lanes, and it's like, where's the minions? Like, this would be great if it was just a MOBA. Yeah. But yeah, 3v3 was awful to start with. Literally, this last patch they came out with, it's only been running for, 2 weeks until they close their servers, was fantastic. There's actually a count progression. There's actually a skill tree. The new weapon and new hero they added were awesome. And it's like, you guys deserve to lose, because why was this not the base game?
What point of doing that at that point? Like, I get that you did the work, so you're like, you want people to see it, but at that point, if you know you're shutting down, just... seems so weird.
Because it probably was already done and paid for, and so it's just like whatever.
X-Defiant did the same thing. When Ubisoft came in and said, you guys are done, they said, all right, here's basically the next 3 years of content that we planned on making. Here you go. It's all there. So they gave all these weapons, all these new maps, all this stuff for like the last month and a half. So you got to see what the game could have been if it had continued. But they were like, it's all there. It's all scheduled to go out. Just go ahead and have it for the last month and a half. I think that's a similar thing. It was done. So here you guys go. You guys can see it.
Yeah. So to me, I'm like, this is how the game should have launched. Like, you guys are dumb for not having this.
The timeline of Highguard it's partially not their fault, and then they make the wrong decision every time after that. It gets announced at the Game Awards, and I get it. Jeff Keighley was trying to do something nice. So he hyped up the game. It's an awful trailer. Issue number 1. Yeah. It's an awful trailer. It's a bad way to introduce your game. The issue there, if you are Wildlight Studios, you see the immediate reaction. Everybody is like, this looks like trash. This looks like Concord 2, you know? The first thing you need to do is make sure you were out there explaining the game. Show as much as you can show. Explain it. You should have been spending all that time. Instead, you know what they did? They went completely silent until about 2 weeks before launch.
Yeah.
They
no
literally
trailers, nothing.
They didn't tweet a single thing. They didn't show a single piece of footage. So now everyone has just trashed your game for the last 2 months. They then, the day before, show a trailer and do a kind of fun, this is what the game is about, and then they launched it. They did not launch in beta. Issue number 2. If you called that thing a beta, I think people would be a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more understanding. Instead, you're just saying it's a full release, and it clearly wasn't. As you just said, Andrew, the latest patch, their last patch, feels a little bit more complete.
Yeah.
So they already failed. Then when the game's going sideways, they go silent. They just didn't talk.
Yeah.
And when you say they deserve to fail, you're like, there were many times where you could have probably course corrected this and fixed this a little bit more to get to where people, instead they didn't. And so all that negative
They clearly
feelings.
had no feedback when they were even like before they announced the game.
No.
You can clearly see that because once the game came out, people were like, "This is an issue. This is an issue. This is an issue." They quickly were scrambling of like, "Okay, now it's 5v5. Now it's this. Now it's this. We fixed this." And it's like you guys clearly had nobody test this game before.
My controversial take, after playing it a pretty good amount, the 3v3 was the right mode.
I don't know.
It is the right
I
mode.
like 5v5.
It's when you understand how the game plays, the 3v3 is actually a cleaner experience. You just have to, I think it's a hard game to explain to somebody. There is a version of this game though that totally rules.
Yeah.
There is like I can see in my mind if this map is way more closed in. There really is no middle area, but there are upgradable weapons, and like you said, I think it'd be cool if you could get resources to buy beefed up minions.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you could in a MOBA. There is a version of this game that actually really rules.
Do you remember that MOBA game? It never was online. Oh my gosh. We played Demigod. There it is. I can't believe I remember
Oh,
it.
Demigod. That was
Demigod. That was such a good MOBA. It was never an online game, but I remember you could actually spend the money to upgrade the turrets, upgrade your minions.
Yep.
So like you could actually just farm on your own, but still contribute to the team. That's exactly what I wanted from Highguard. Because that's the thing. When the game first came out, mining that resources was really pointless. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, so once they one thing they did to fix it is that middle part, they did lower the timer on it. So I did like that because it felt like I barely had enough time to get my stuff. So I had to grab it as quickly as possible, and that meant everybody wasn't going into the fight completely maxed out on their equipment. I liked that a little bit better. But that's where I was like, okay, there is a version of this that can work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. It's dead.
Yep. It's so dumb.
This makes me want to go just play Smite 2. Just speaking of MOBAs.
Smite 2 got busted.
Did it?
Really?
They've been trying to fix that game. That one launched really broken. I purchased that one.
You purchased all these. You
because I
purchased in
remember
Highguard.
I got a code to the beta from you buying it, or you shared one with me. So
Yeah.
I played a good chunk of hours, and I mean it probably wasn't a perfect state, but I was having fun with it early on.
It
I
felt
always
very
loved
much like the
Smite
first one. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel that different.
Just with Unreal Engine.
Yes.
There was definitely a few tweaks in like the jungling system that I remember.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't fully understand it, so I don't ask me to explain what the differences are, but I do remember it being different than the first Smite.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been some changes, but it kind of launched in a busted state, and a lot of people are pissed that they just abandoned the first game into an incomplete second game.
Is it in 1.0 now?
I don't know if it officially hit that or if it's still in beta. I think it's still in beta.
Either way.
Kind of wild. But speaking of online multiplayer games, though, there's a small indie title that I thought some quick news you guys, people out here might want to hear. You may know the small indie title known as Fortnite. I don't know if you remember, that game came out in 2017. And they had a multiplayer or a single player game called Save the World. And I remember that was Fortnite's thing of, well, it's in beta. You got to pay for it. If you want the early access to the beta, the PvE, the Save the World. But then, of course, they came out with the Battle Royale, and that blew up quite a bit. It's still going. But finally, Epic Games has finally announced that the PvE single player game, or, well, it's multiplayer, it's co-op PvE mode, is now finally going free to play April 16th. So, it's only been almost like 10 years, and now they're finally like, yeah, I guess we'll finally make that free.
Well, what? How many people in that studio do you think are still working on that?
Well, that's the thing. I heard it was out of beta a long time ago, and I don't know if they've even added anything more to it.
Yeah,
It's kind of a bummer. Like I get why the Battle Royale took over, but that was the one thing that appealed to me. Like when I remember it first being talked about, I was like, that sounds like a really fun game. And then the Battle Royale came. I was like, cool. I'll try that. I don't want to pay for the Save the World, and never did.
Well, now you don't have to.
You don't have to.
I know. I
You could
probably
finally
will try it out.
I heard it's actually pretty fun. I actually knew a couple people that actually bought it, and they actually said it's a lot of fun. Because it's a bit of a looter shooter.
Yeah, I know. It's obviously it leans into the base building, and you're fighting zombies, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah.
that's about the most I know about it.
But getting into some rumor talk, though, of, if you are, like us, your Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, I think it's weird. They added, they obviously upped the price to it to an exuberant amount of money. But in order to justify that price, Xbox, of course, has added some subscriptions. One of them, of course, being the Fortnite crew. That's one thing I'm also surprised is they added this Fortnite crew subscription, but I thought for sure they'd be like, oh, yeah, and you get the single-player game now, too. But no, you just get the Fortnite crew. But
well, now you do, Andrew.
What do you say?
On April 16th.
You do.
Yeah.
On April 16th.
But they also... There has been rumor now that, with the new CEO, Asher Sharma, that we'll kind of get into, that there is rumor that they're talking about adding World of Warcraft subscription to Game Pass Ultimate, which to me makes completely more sense. Because I thought it was odd when they're like, oh yeah, Fortnite crew is added to Ultimate. And I'm like, if you're playing Ultimate on Game Pass, like, you're probably not playing Fortnite. Like, if you're going to be spending $30, you're going to make sure you're spending that $30 playing the games and not just spending your time on Fortnite. But to me, I really hope this rumor is true, because to me, this makes total sense now that Xbox owns Blizzard, that you would just add it part of the Game Pass Ultimate subscription.
This has been long rumored, though. This is not new.
Well, and I would love to get into that, but it all goes back to PC games. I mean, I know Aaron plays PC. I know you do, Andrew. I wouldn't want to get a PC to get back into it. Now, if they could port it for console. But man, there's a lot of buttons you need to push. So unless they could do a console port that allowed mouse and keyboard, I don't see how it could work well.
They have long rumored a PC or a console version of it. These are like the common rumors.
Yeah,
they have been working on a controller-based version of it for years. That was always something they've kind of wanted to do and thought there would be an opportunity to do that. And especially once Xbox took over, it felt like, oh, it's a match made in heaven now. So this kind of goes back to one of my earlier rants, though. From what I've heard, from my understanding, is of all the great MMOs, Warcraft is still king. And it's actually one of the few where the subscription model has worked. There's a lot that haven't. They tried it, and it didn't last. And they've had to really try free-to-play models and hoping on cash shops as a way to fix it, where Warcraft just hasn't had to do that. And
I mean, they have the cash shop.
Yeah, they have the cash shop, but the subscription is still necessary to play Warcraft. And there's been a lot of talk of, like, it just didn't make sense on the Microsoft side to put that into Game Pass because they thought it would actually hurt it and not help it. So there's been a lot of discussion about that. So I do wonder if that would ever be the case. But this, again, goes back to my earlier issue where, like, why is it still so stingy? Right now, if I play any Blizzard game on PC, it does not launch from the Xbox app. It launches from the Blizzard launcher. It feels like even though Microsoft owns it, they keep it off to the side. Like they keep it kind of separate. Right? Outside of what? Right now, the only benefit you can get if you have Game Pass, is you get Overwatch credits, right? Is that the only game that they kind of give a little special?
Really?
I think they did a one time. I don't think you continuously get it.
I don't did they do anything for Diablo? Like, I don't remember getting any kind of special deal. No. I don't remember getting a free season pass or anything like that. I don't.
They probably gave you a free horse charm or something.
I thought Diablo 4 gave you one free battle pass.
I think that came with the game. I think you got the first one for free. I didn't think that had anything to do with you being a Game Pass member.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that sounds right.
It is a little weird how they treat this. You Blizzard's one of your big studios. It is kind of odd.
Do you think they're afraid to? They got so much pushback for
I just don't think they need to.
Well,
I think the thing is Blizzard does fine on its own. I don't think it needs any special incentives to get people to play those games. I think they've got healthy audiences regardless. So that's why I don't know. I don't know if you'll see a subscription to Warcraft in there, even though you could make the argument that, well, it could benefit Warcraft because they've got a lot of expansions to sell.
Which
So-
they just came out with one.
Yeah, so you could say that maybe it would be worth it because they would still sell expansions, but I don't know. They haven't done anything like that in the past, and they really seem to keep Blizzard in their own area. They're their own thing.
But the thing is like you say that Blizzard doesn't need it, but Microsoft sure could use it. So
I don't think they do,
and-
though. I think those audiences are really healthy and it makes a lot of money for them. I don't think they would look at that and say, if we bring in more Game Pass subscriptions, we're actually going to lose out because more people will just leave that, come to this to get all of it, and we'd actually lose because it's more expensive on this side.
See, for me, I think it makes sense for it to go to Game Pass because if you think about it now, the people who are playing World of Warcraft probably don't even play Game Pass because usually when you play World of Warcraft, that's kind of your only game you're playing. And so for me, if they did it to Game Pass, the people who already subscribed to Ultimate will just be jumping onto it. And like you said, they could sell the expansions. And the expansions are still cash revenue. But it's not like someone who's currently playing World of Warcraft is going to go, hey, I'm going to stop paying the $15 a month and instead pay $30 a month and get Game Pass Ultimate. So to me, I just feel like it's just going to add more players but not really take anything away from World of
But
Warcraft.
it could, though. I mean, I think there would be a market out there that's already paying the $15 that would say, oh, an extra $15, I already paid for that, and I'll get everything else. Oh, I'll just take that then. And I'll leave and go over
Because
to
you're not going to
this.
stop playing World of Warcraft if you're playing World of Warcraft.
but
I don't know if that's the case
then
anymore.
and we're talking kind of a long full circle here, but then you pay that $30 or you're paying that $30, you get sucked into World of Warcraft and you go, well, why do I need to keep paying $30 when all I want to do is play World of Warcraft now? I'll just go pay $15 a month and I'll stop paying for my
You're
and-
three
I mean,
idiots
maybe
doing a
that's
Game
even
Pass
sm-
podcast.
I'm just saying, I think there's something to it. The fact that this hasn't happened yet, that I think there's something to that. And the fact that World of Warcraft still runs and is very healthy after, it's got to be 20 years.
It's healthy-ish. It's definitely lost a lot of players.
Yeah, fine, but it still puts out an expansion and it
Yeah.
still brings in a bunch of people that go check out the expansion. So it's healthy in the sense that they're not desperately trying to do different things. Not that they're trying to do anything radical. It feels like every year when they go and do the BlizzCon, they get up there and they announce a bunch of new stuff coming to World of Warcraft, and people seem satisfied with it. So I don't know. There's a reason they're not doing it though, and I don't know if they're just looking at the back end numbers and realizing this would be less beneficial for us to do that. I would, at this point, to be honest with you, I would be surprised if it ever happens.
Yeah. But
It's wild. I was just thinking, it's like wild. Like it's been almost 20 years since I played that game. I mean, less, I guess, but close to. And just thinking about like the lead up to like getting them out, just the limited numbers of them, those little things, and I think you can get that like day one now.
Oh, they
and
speed that
it
crap
totally
up.
makes sense. Like I totally understand why I'm not like, oh, these people will never understand the original. It's just funny to think back, like the original, how it used to play out, the hours you used to grind for these like what seemed like big accomplishments are just like.
Well, have you not?
that still exists.
So that's what
I'm sure
BlizzCon has done. They now have vanilla World of
World
Warcraft.
of
Oh,
Warcraft
that's
Classic.
right. No, that is true.
So they've gone back to the classic, and now they're releasing vanilla. What was the first expansion? Legion or whatever.
Burning
Burning
Legion,
Crusade.
Burning Crusade.
Burning Horde.
Burning Crusade is coming out, and that's going to be a vanilla version of it as well.
I'm still into this. So the classic is actually up to Wrath of the Lich King, I think now.
Oh, is it?
But they're relaunching it. There's another server where it's like just classic, and I think they're starting it
know.
over again. But they have progressively been doing the expansions one after another, kind
That's
of.
funny to me.
But it is
wild.
just funny to be like, yeah, do you want to reset
So
everything and kind of keep going?
it's like The Office, the Superfan episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have a coworker that actually still playing it because so he has asked me, you get back to World of Warcraft? I'm like, no, not yet. It's like I'm playing the classic. But man, it was a job in the old World of Warcraft classic. But we can at least guarantee now that World of Warcraft will be coming to console though, with the new Xbox Project Helix announced. That this is going to be a full-on console that plays Xbox and PC games. So in theory, you should be able to play World of Warcraft now. But yeah, not a ton of information is released. I also love that this announcement literally was just like a Tuesday Twitter, like, hey, yeah, new Xbox Project Helix. Okay, there it is.
Well, here's my theory. my theory is what this was step one, obviously to lead up to GDC, which happened yesterday and today, where they talked a little bit more what Project Helix is going to be. So they gave a little bit more details on how powerful it's going to be, what the expectation is for it. And my guess is you will get kind of a little bit more of a heavier reveal come the summer when they do their Xbox showcase. So I'm guessing what we saw is probably step one, which is them saying, yes, it does exist. Yes, this is the name of, this is the project name. And you'll probably get, I would guess, at least the title of this thing come summer.
Xbox 2.
Is what I'm going to guess. So there's speculation all over the place. Here's kind of what seems to be the messaging coming out of Microsoft. They seem to be emphasizing this is a console. So they seem to be emphasizing that because the more you talk about this, it does kind of blur the lines between, is this just a PC? And is this even a console?
In theory, a console is a PC, just closed.
This is my kind of theory. As you'll be able to plug this into a TV with a controller and be able to play it like you would an Xbox. You got games on there, you can go ahead and play it. You can download things off their store, no problem. If you want to hook it up to a monitor and plug in your mouse and keyboard, boom, totally works that way too. They will be interchangeable. That's how I'm going to guess that this thing is going to work. So question number 2, because they're saying this will be a premium console experience. That's how they describe this thing. So how expensive is this going to be? We already saw price only went up on the Series X as components got expensive due to AI. What should we expect here? Where would you guys be okay? Let's say this is legitimately powerful. Let's say they're describing it as potentially being as powerful as a RTX 5080. So the highest level RTX you can buy right now is a 5090. So right behind the best GPU you can buy on the market. They think it'll be around that power. What would you say you'd be comfortable in paying?
Well, so it's weird to think about, because if this is a year and a half out and right now it's behind the highest, in 2 years it should in theory be even further unless they upgrade in sync with that. So that's where I would think it's got to curb the cost a little bit. Like right now that sounds appealing, but maybe in 2 years that's not as appealing. I would like to say $8.99 or $9.99, but no, I know.
You think that's 1,200 at least?
I mean, that doesn't seem unreasonable. I know.
It just depends on how they pitch this thing, right? If you pitch this as a high-end PC, 1,200 is nothing.
I know. It's still nothing. I know.
That's the thing. If you pitch this as a console, 1,200 is obscene. So how their messaging goes with this is going to be everything. Can I throw something else out there? I was thinking. So
no,
we'll allow it this time.
All right. So yesterday I was making myself a sandwich, and it's kind of like, I don't know why I was just thinking through.
Should have made a hot dog.
What kind of sandwich?
It was just a ham and cheese with some mayo,
hot dog and cheese,
a little bit of mustard.
No veggies. No
veggies. No. Just some.
Do you add mayonnaise?
Yes, mayonnaise, mustard, cheese, ham. That's it. Very simple.
Cheese.
On a potato roll.
Ooh,
potato roll. All right. So
cheese.
Here's the thing. I'm doing this. So talking about the Game Pass and talking about the value, and you were just talking about adding the World of Warcraft subscription. This kind of popped into my head. How sick would this be?
If you got a free sandwich?
No. If they said, here's the price of the new console, it's $1,200, okay? If you have been a Game Pass subscriber for at least 12 months, it is going to be $8.99. You can buy it off of, because you know how they sell it? They sell peripherals on the Xbox app, in the Xbox
deals
store.
For you type of thing.
You can purchase one console for $8.99. How smart would that be if they said, well, this is how we're going to build our Game Pass subscribers? Because here's the thing, right? How do you subsidize a console? Let's say this is very much like a PC. How can they sell this console at a discount, a subsidized price, which is what normally happens when you go to purchase an Xbox right now? The components cost more than you actually purchased for, because Xbox knows when you fire up your Xbox, you have to purchase everything from their store. So they're willing to subsidize it. Well, if this thing is a PC and I can play anything off of Steam, I can play anything off of Epic Games, I may never purchase anything from you. And I may not use Game Pass. I'm just going to use it as a high-end PC that I just bought for cheap from you. So how do they make sure that they get some of that subsidy back? To me, you reward your long-term customers. If you've been a Game Pass subscriber for a year, it's likely you're going to remain that way when you purchase the next console. All right, we'll give you a discount for it. As a thank you for being a Game Pass subscriber and sticking with us for so many years, we'll knock down the price for you. Well, to me, genius. And here's what I would go. I'd go one step further.
And you get a sandwich.
Free.
I want to bring in more people. So I say if you've been a Game Pass subscriber for 6 months, it's $9.99. We'll still give you a discount at 6 months. And you announce this out. Everyone goes and gets their Game Pass subscriptions because they're gonna order that console and they're gonna get it for cheaper. I get the CEO on this podcast now. I just fixed it for him because now you've made the value of Game Pass make sense because you'll get a cheaper console and all these games, and you're gonna keep them in your system. Here's
where you're 100% wrong. You are thinking with customer loyalty in mind. And I am going to sound like my dad, and I am going to sound like an old man yelling at the sky, but customer loyalty is dead. Companies do not care about your loyalty.
It not truly see what the new CEO said?
Oh, sure. I forgot. The new CEO said something. But seriously,
whenever CEO says something, they mean it, Keith.
Like, I'm sure it's such like, I don't know the analytics, and I'm sure that they have all these things that get crunched and analyzed and all these, but I'm with you. Like, it seems, I don't want to say simple, but where are the numbers on that? But I feel like they don't do that because there's just no incentive to look at that. They want to look at how can we market this the best to get every analytics. It's like watching football. Like, you watch, like, everything comes down to what do the analytics say, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's boring, but that's all you hear about it now. Like, I don't know, I just want to see them play the game.
Here's the thing though, Keith. What I just described,
it's a good idea. It's a fantastic idea.
Hold on.
Yeah, a pretty good sandwich.
You can pitch it.
You can
pitch it as a customer-friendly loyalty thing, but it's really not. Because what Microsoft wants at the end of the day, Microsoft wants one thing. I don't think they care if they sell consoles. That seems kind of clear. That, like, the Xbox price keeps going up. I don't think they actually care if they sell consoles. What they want is your subscription. Your subscription is the most valuable thing they can get out of you. So to me, tying the new console to your long-term subscription, because my guess is if you run the numbers, if you've been a Game Pass subscriber for 1 year, you will purchase this console and remain a Game Pass subscriber.
But if you announce it long term and you make it a thing, like your point of, like, people are going to go out and they're going to buy a subscription, they're not going to care about the subscription that they bought. They're going to do it because that subscription cost them $360 and they saved $500 on their console, that, or their computer, whatever they're looking at it. That's what they're seeing it. So those numbers don't equate for them. It has to be a, like, I don't want to say on the fly, but like, hey, if you have been, and truthfully, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there like us. If you look at any of our things, we're like Andrew has like a day one Xbox console. Like, I'm not saying that they should be giving consoles away to people, but it's like, if you want to talk about loyalty, those are the people that actually you should be targeting, right? But not because they know they're going to get Andrew to buy it anyways. They know I'm going to buy it anyways. You're going to buy it.
Just an Xbox slut.
And that's where
exactly.
That's where
So
I'm
they don't
agreeing with you.
care
Like,
about the loyalty. They don't care about the fact that you've been a subscriber for 12 months because they know that because you've been a subscriber for the last 12 months, you're going to buy it at $1,200 regardless.
No, I don't know. I think that you actually do start to run into that territory. I think 1,200 was where you were going to run up into a wall of where a very specific group's going to get it and a specific group will be out. And here's the problem is they've fallen behind. They've fallen behind. They've admitted defeat. They've obviously let go of a bunch of people over at Microsoft and are trying to right the ship. To me, you're right. Ultimately, this isn't about loyalty. It's about getting subscriptions. But I think you could pitch this as a loyalty, as a reward for your loyalty, which is kind of how she started to talk. She seems to want to bring back in, at least how she's talking, the core of what made Xbox special. And that kind of seems to be what she wants to go back to. But here's why I would do like the 6 months Game Pass subscription. For one, you're going to get somebody to pay $30 for 6 months. Then when they buy that console, you're going to continue to remind them all of the games they'll be able to play day one. Because this sounds like, according to Project Helix, everything we saw at GDC, it sounds like this console will be pretty much backwards compatible with almost every game on the Xbox catalog. Where they haven't really been able to do that, this does sound like that could be a possibility with this console. So if you could say, day one, your subscription also gets you access to this gargantuan library. I think right now, the waters are too muddy in Game Pass. Seems like it just doesn't make any sense. But I think as you lead up into this and you want to get those long-term subscriptions, I think you tie it to this as kind of that big catch. And I would venture a guess majority of people will stick in.
I mean, I think you get it I think you get the buy-in if you get the money savings. I had a curious thought though. Regardless of what we want to call it or what they want to call it, a console or a PC, is every game developed for this console in theory a PC game? Like, I know they have Xbox Anywhere, but am I just buying a PC game that plays on this console versus basically a PC version versus a PlayStation version? And that's kind of what you have.
It sure sounds like
otherwise, what's different?
And so here's another kind of, it's funny to see. So since Project Helix was announced, I've seen some things start to do an interesting shift. So what was the big pitch when the ROG Ally X came out? Xbox Ally X, whatever stupid name.
Everything's an Xbox.
Everything's an Xbox. That was kind of the big thing. But everyone said, oh, I can play PlayStation games on my Xbox console now. So what did PlayStation announce?
They said no more PC ports.
No more PC ports. They know where Xbox is going, which is basically a PC. So they're saying, wait, why? If our games are going to be literally the only thing that's going to define us, we should be protecting them. So they've already announced, we're not going to do that anymore. You're not going to be getting our games. And I think they've recognized where this future is going, and PlayStation is leaning harder into console as Xbox is continuing to lean more into an open ecosystem.
But then does it make it harder to call it a console? Because I truthfully I don't care. It's one of those funny things to me that I don't get why people get hung up on. But
as I've gotten older, I don't care.
Console? Yeah, but because otherwise, how is it a console? If I'm really honest about the semantics of it, if it's really just a PC.
If this is going to sound crazy, if Xbox did cease to exist, it wouldn't really hurt me as long as Game Pass was still there. But if they came out today and said we're not going to make consoles anymore, I would be okay.
Truthfully, I'd probably just end up going and getting a PC too. It's
that's
not like I would run out of way to play the games too. Same.
I use Game Pass all the time, but I use it a lot on my PC. I still have my Xbox, and there's some things I'll play on there, but majority of the time I'm playing it on my PC. So at the end of the day, I'm not directly tied to this thing. Now, it does sound like, and again, this continues to pop up, and I believe Xbox announced this today or yesterday, but their kind of console in Windows format that they have for the Xbox ROG Ally X, that will be coming to PC as well. I think they said in April it's going out in beta version. So that is supposed to be what the console dashboard looks like, is what they're building. So right now, if you are to buy one of those handhelds, it boots up in Windows, but you're actually getting an Xbox overlay, and it looks like a clean Xbox. Well, clean. It's clearly needed some work, but I think that's why I say I think you'll be able to plug this new one into your TV, and it will launch that dashboard. You won't even realize it's running Windows. So you can just treat it like a console. It's not going to feel any different than a console. Or you could flip it over into Windows, go into Steam, get what games you want there as well.
So do you think there's any chance that Xbox will start to go back with some exclusivity stuff?
No.
I see. I generally say no too, because obviously they've been making a ton of money. Like they announced how much sales they made of Forza Horizon 5. Like
Yeah,
that's a couple-year-old game, and they sold like 3 million just on PlayStation alone.
This is why I said, like, Keith is right when he said that the customer loyalty doesn't matter. At this point, it's shareholders that matter to them. So they have to come back, and the only things that's been positive for Xbox, basically this console generation, has been the sale of some of those games that they've sent over to PlayStation. Because the console sales dried up pretty quick. Their subscriptions were really good on Game Pass, and they've been very steady. But no, I can't imagine them going, we're gonna go back to
I
exclusive.
could see some though, because it makes sense when you look at the picture of how everything's been shaken up. Phil Spencer instantly being out, Sarah Bond instantly leaving as well. This new CEO coming in, this complete outsider coming in, and just like to shake things up. Because it's like if things were going well, and this was the trend of everything's just going to go on everything, we don't care anymore. Why would they clean house so quickly? To me, this does seem like a complete change of shift. Like obviously, Asha Sharma, the new CEO, said, we want to go back. We were trying to chase the future customers and not maintaining our loyal customers today. Something along those lines, which makes sense. And it makes sense of how they're shaking things up. Because that's the thing too, where people are like, oh, Xbox is just sunsetting. It's like, well, if they're just sunsetting, why don't they just put, Matt Booty in there? Like he's already been there. Like you don't need an outsider. You could just put any Joe Schmo in there and hey, Xbox is going down, just go down with the ship. Here's a paycheck, just whatever you're doing is fine. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with some exclusivity. Because as you're saying here, they keep calling it a console. And even as Craig in our chat here said, why wouldn't I just buy a PC? If everything is just being Xbox PC, why not just buy a PC? What would literally be the point of this console?
I mean, truthfully, for someone like me, like if I'm thinking about it, it's two things. It wouldn't be any different, I guess, than from going and buying a mid-level PC. I like it because maybe I trust the Xbox name. It's the same as like someone who likes an Asus gaming laptop. Like, okay, I like the Xbox
Apple
model.
sluts.
Exactly, and I'm one of those too. But like, it's a system that I know. So if the same level mid-end PC that I was going to buy is just built on an Xbox model that I'm comfortable with, perfect. So for me, it makes sense, and I think there's probably plenty of people that does. But I also wanted to make sure I pointed out that you can't put any Joe Schmo in there, because if you put Aaron in there, he'd fix all of Xbox. He's already got it figured out. So you can't put anybody there. Aaron would actually fix it.
Oh no, he fixed Xbox. We're making too much money now.
The shareholders don't know what to do with their money.
I do like it's. I mean, it's really interesting because clearly their model, and like I said, I don't think they care if they sell consoles anymore. I don't think that mattered to them.
Then why get rid of the CEOs?
The reason why I don't think it did is because I think once Game Pass came out, I think it changed where continual revenue through a subscription model is better than the one-time console purchase. It just is. So there is part of me that just sees this
but they lost a lot of subscribers when they upped the price. They clearly weren't recuperating their cost, so they upped the price and obviously trended on Twitter of, quit Game Pass or unsubscribe from Game Pass. Like that was a trending thing for a week.
I think a lot of things in the future are going to be trying to get people back to Game Pass. And the console will be there. I just don't know if putting Do
you think they'll lower Game Pass? Because I don't think you can at this point.
Do you think? Do you honestly? Do you think there are games that are console sellers still? I don't know if there are.
I mean, I would say yes, because that's why PlayStation has done so well. They had so many great single-player games. And
was that the reason?
Xbox. What was the last good Xbox single-player game?
Here's the thing, though. I don't think that's the reason why people bought a PlayStation. I think people bought a PlayStation because of the Xbox One. I think
that's true too.
I think the Xbox One was so bad it destroyed the series.
Yes.
after. Like, I think that's what happened. Is you've now pulled so many people onto the PlayStation system that you ruined everything you did in the 360 era on the Xbox One. I don't think it was necessarily because the games were so good people had to have them. There are some. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some people. But I think gaming is so big now and it's so vast that I don't know if there are console selling games anymore.
I bought a Switch too because I wanted to play Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Nintendo.
No, you did not. You bought it because you found a cheap hack to go buy it really cheap.
That's true too, but it was
actually
good on my
really
list. I won $400 at the casino. I'm like, here we go. This is my Switch 2 money now.
Yeah, okay, but that's the reason you bought it. You weren't running out there because of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
You could ask Liz. I was talking about it a lot.
I'm sure you were, and Nintendo does stand alone. I think in the one niche because I agree with Aaron. I don't think there's. I'm sure there are some people who still do go to Best Buy, Walmart, wherever they buy their console, Amazon, and pick a PlayStation because they want to play Spider-Man. There probably are, but I think largely people are going to make a decision based on where they play it. And I think a lot of people are going away from consoles in general and going towards PCs.
Yeah.
And if you're not, Xbox is still, I think, more attractive because of Game Pass. It might not always have the best game selection, but there's so many. And even at the lower tiers, I think it just opens up if you're someone who wants to explore games. Now, again, not for everyone. Some people just want to play Call of Duty, play, Madden, play whatever. And that's fine. Totally okay. You can pick whatever console. Because again, everything's largely cross-platform in that regard too. So I think it just doesn't matter.
And this is what I'm saying. Right? Think about the model right now is free to play is everywhere. Free to play is heck. We're getting free to play single player games. You know, Where Winds Meet is a really popular game that's not really an MMO. It has MMO elements, but it was really popular and it's basically a single player free to play game. And so
Now Fortnite.
yeah. So
On April 16th.
my thing is like, I don't know if there is a single game. If you were to tell me tomorrow, oh, hey, Diablo 5 is coming out. It's a PS5 exclusive. I wouldn't go buy a PS5 for it because I have a million other options. I love that series. I love those games. I would just play
What if
something else.
Supermassive Game says we're only releasing on PS5?
I still wouldn't do it. It's not,
And truthfully-
it doesn't make sense because there's a million other games to play and there's a million other games I'll love. And back catalogs are getting so large for everybody too. I just don't. I think for some, sure, it's a make or break for them. I just don't know if console exclusives are really that big.
Like, jokes aside, I truly think it would have to be like a Madden game or like a Call of Duty going 100% console exclusive. That would totally sell people right now because I think those are the two games that people are so.
Even Call of Duty's been dying.
Well, but I only think of it in terms of like those are games that largely people play, and they play just a lot of.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's like, if you're someone who plays a lot of indie games, you don't play the same one over and over again because most of the time they're short, whatever the case may be. I can't really. I don't know. This is something for years even. Like the console wars have always been funny to me for this reason. Like I don't get it. Like just sell every game, and you've said it, Andrew. Selling these games on PlayStation, it just subsidizes the studios to continue making games, and then I get the first touch at them on Game Pass. I don't know, or if I don't, because if Diablo came to PlayStation tomorrow, exclusive, history told me within a year, by the time I have time to get to it, it'll probably come to Xbox. So I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Great discussion, guys. Really well done all around. High
We
fives.
did it.
Well, we didn't talk too much about the new CEO and the new team. Did you guys want to touch base on that?
No.
I know a lot of people have talked about that going on.
There's nothing
We're
to
kinda
talk
late
about
to it
with it
now.
yet.
I mean, it sounds
we
like
just
she wants to
don't-
get back to loyalty, but we don't know if we believe that.
We don't know anything about the girl, and that could be bad. It could be good, but really, we don't know. I'm kind of interested to see. I think this summer at Xbox's game event, I don't even know what do they call it now.
Xbox Showcase. Well,
I always want to call it
Showcase
E3, but it's not
it's
E3.
Xbox Showcase.
Yeah,
'Cause
okay.
the Developer Direct is the 4-person
At the
one.
showcase, I think will tell you everything. I think that is when it's worth discussing if it seems like, okay, I get what they're doing. Because that's been the question for the last few years is what is Xbox's plan? What is an Xbox anymore? Like, what is it? And I think this summer, well, I think what she said in interviews have sounded good so far, but it's CEO speech.
Yeah.
And she's being really safe. But she does seem to acknowledge the fact that, like, hey, there are legitimate problems here, and I need to know why those problems existed in the first place. I think that's good. But until we get to this summer to really figure out where the direction this thing is going, there's really nothing to say about her yet. Yeah. You just don't know. It's a big old question.
I'm excited for her. Because, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, she's not a gamer, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you don't need to be a gamer. Like, if anything, like, that could probably have been hurting Xbox.
It does.
That whole thing made me laugh. Like, when people like dug into the game history, because it was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was bad optics by Xbox.
Oh, she clearly did no gamer culture.
No,
you know,
the
people are going to look up receipts.
No, it was absolutely bad optics, but it was really funny to me. I was like, I don't care. Truthfully,
I need someone that's just going to fix the direction of it and make sense of how it's the best value for everybody moving forward. Like, you've got to recapture the brand, and that's all I care about. And so, again, we'll see. I think this summer will be telling because it'll be kind of her first time really getting up in front of everybody, showing off a slate of games. And my guess is probably talking a little bit about the future, probably talking a little bit about the next console.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm excited for it, too. If you look at her resume, it's all about her whole thing is about user engagement. You know, working at Instacart, working at Meta, it's all about getting people engaged into the product. So to me, I'm like, you know, she probably could be it. This is also why I don't think this console is getting sunsetted. Like people are thinking.
No.
To me, it's like
I think you're spot on. They're bringing in an outsider that they want to kind of correct it. They've doubled down on that. They're sticking with this. From my understanding, what did they do? A 10-year commitment with AMD?
Yeah,
last year. So they're already in on this commitment. My thing is they have to I think they realize they have to fix it. Like they just have to find a way to correct this thing. So. We really won't know in this summer. And if she comes out and it's kind of a disaster, wish-washy, everything's an Xbox kind of stuff, and it looks like they're just going to double down on that, then yeah, you're probably not in for a good future. But it really depends on how she handles it this summer.
True.
I think she's doing the right thing where it sounds like she said in interviews, I'm just trying to learn it right now. Like, I'm really trying to understand how these things are all functioning with each other. And I think, all right, that's a smart move. Yeah. You're brand new. Don't come in here swinging around like you know what you're talking about. You're saying, I don't know yet. Like, I need to learn this first before we can really start making some decisions. Totally smart. And I am. I hope she nails it. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think honestly, that's a good point too. Like putting it that way, just that's a good thing for any industry, or really it's like, it shows what their focus is on. Like that it's about someone who has a vision on fixing just broken things versus a specific niche. And I think that, I don't know, maybe you're right to be optimistic. I think we just need to see what her Spotify Wrapped says. If she listens to Game Pass Grab Bag, she'll hear Aaron's fixing
I fixed it today. Issues. I fixed the future of Xbox.
That's what we need to know. If she listens to this, we're good. We're in. But otherwise,
I gave that away for free. I made a sandwich and came up with that. Think of all the other ideas I could come up with.
What kind of cheese?
I think it was just Swiss. It was baby Swiss.
Keith, it's like, guys are getting angry. What's the cheese?
It was baby Swiss.
All right. Well, now I'm satisfied. I just needed to know.
Should have been a hot dog. But thank you guys for joining us all for this wonderful news segment. Well, I say wonderful. Hope you guys enjoyed this. As I said, please make sure you go to GamePassGrabBag.com. Check out our website. Join all our links. Come by, say hi. We record every Wednesday. We always love to hear from you all. But yes, I've been your hardcore gamer, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952.
With that, geez, so I'm not going to say anymore.
With that, we love you all. We'll see you next week.
Bye.